Do you?
Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew podcasting network. This is my weekly show where my guests and I each pick a film related in some shape or form, and hopefully by the end of this episode, you have two movies to go check out. And joining me for this episode, it is fearless leader of the SPDM Crew. It is Mike Hilty.
Hooah!
Hoo-ha! Yabba, yabba doo. And if you couldn't tell why we're Al Pacinoing out, is because this is a very special episode. Both films that Al Pacino was nominated for Oscars for in 1992, because not only did he get nominated for Best Supporting Actor for playing Roma
Mm.
in Glengarry Glen Ross, but he did indeed win his lone Best Actor Academy Award for playing Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade. He's too old,
Ridiculous.
too tired, too effing blind.
Plus, also in my defense, I also picked this because I wanted to pick a movie with a Thanksgiving flair to it, and
Yeah.
Scent of a Woman is
And
as
there
close
is a Thanksgiving.
as we're gonna get to like a legit Thanksgiving movie ish.
But, Mike, at least you're not a snitch.
I'm
There
not
will
a
be.
I'm not a bad man.
What's that even mean? A bad man.
More like a bad bum.
It's like I would take I would take a flamethrower to this place. I could go on forever. So, but this is an actual movie and not just a bunch of Al
Just
Pacino
not just
quotes.
us just like screaming shit into microphones.
So, Scent of a Woman came out in 1992, directed by Geely director Martin Brest.
Yeah, okay.
Well, back when he was still making good movies and not Geely. And this is a story about a prep school student needing money, agrees to quote unquote babysit a blind man, but the job is not all what he anticipates. And this is starring Chris O'Donnell
Baby Chris O'Donnell.
as Charlie Sims, and of course, Al Pacino as Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade. But Mike, what are your general thoughts on Scent of a Woman?
Look, I think that this movie gets a bit of a bad rep because so many people are like, this is the one that Pacino gets his Oscar for, with so many iconic performances and nominations. Look, this movie is not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. There are just some incredible moments. I still get chills when he gives that speech at the end. I love the part where he's driving the car. Just there is a surprising amount of heart with this relationship because both of these people, they're clamoring for something that is clearly missing from their lives. Because Charlie is somebody who he doesn't belong at this prep school. He's on there on scholarship. He's clearly the outsider
Yeah.
in this instance, and just who knew that a blind, foul-mouthed colonel, like retired colonel, would be everything that he would need at the end of the day.
Well, if anybody out there, wherever you are, Harry, Jimmy, Trent, wherever you are, F you too, if you
Mhm.
think this is a bad movie.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, yes, I get it. Should he have won for Godfather or Godfather Part 2 or Serpico or Dog Day Afternoon or And Justice for All? Sure, why not? But that does not take away from the fact that this is a heartwarming, moving drama. And Al Pacino goes 110% into this role. And yes, was this the start of the Al Pacinoing in all of
Oh
his
yeah,
performances?
yeah.
There was hints of this well before this. I would say it was probably Scarface that
I would.
really started that.
I
But to be
would
frank,
too.
most of his career in the 80s weren't a thing because of his alcoholism. So
Mhm.
like this was like him really coming back. And Al Pacino gives a fantastic performance. I own Scent of a Woman. I really enjoy Scent of a Woman. It's a good movie. Did this need to be 2 hours and 36 minutes? Probably not. Like, been tighter,
Tighten it up a little bit. Yeah, I would
tightening up
agree
a
with
little
that.
bit. Does it get a little melodramatic at
Oh, of
times? Sure.
course. Yeah.
Yeah. But is this speech at the end one of the greatest speeches ever given in a movie? Hell yeah. Do I quote this way too often? No, because it's not too often, but I do quote it all the time. But
Well,
like,
and it's hilarious because that speech, it's about integrity, but at the end of the day, it's about not being a snitch. That is the whole crux of this ridiculous speech.
well,
But
to be fair, it's specifically about the fact that Charlie is being treated differently.
mhm,
You'd crucify Charlie and you celebrate Brad sitting there in Big Daddy's pocket. And it's about classism.
mhm.
It's how the deck is stacked against this young man. And to be frank, I think if this movie was made today, Charlie probably wouldn't be a little white kid. I think
Probably not.
probably be some other layers to
Mhm,
this because that's what it's really tackling is this elitist structure that keeps places like Baird in a place where it's exclusionary.
mhm,
It's like the Ivy Leagues.
mhm,
It's one of those things where somebody like me, like I my EFC going into college was literally zero. I am a single mom who is permanently disabled for the past 26 years. Like I busted my ass to get into school. I wasn't dicking around.
mhm,
And like in high school, even I did like 5, 6 hours of homework every day after school. I was taking all the AP classes. I was busting my ass
mhm.
because that was my way out.
Yeah.
And this is Charlie's way out.
Mhm,
And Slade sees Charlie for who he really is, despite the fact that Slade is blind, but he sees more than most.
mhm.
And that performance from Al Pacino is great. Like, would I have given Al Pacino Best Actor for this movie? No, only specifically because I would 100% given it to Clint Eastwood for Unforgiven. But
You know,
Al Pacino won Best Picture and Best Director for Unforgiven, so I think he would have made
I
out
think he
perfectly fine.
I think he was just fine. You're right.
I think it
But
was just fine.
so I don't know, like was this a bit of a lifetime achievement award for him because that's
Sure.
what that's what's
A hundred.
that's what happens at the Oscars, but that doesn't change the fact that this performance there are a lot of different layers with this because on one end Frank Slade is a cranky old man. Like
Yes.
that's one layer. But then you peel things back and he's in a lot of pain. He's ready
Yes.
for things to be done. Um like that part of the speech at the end is like I've been around, there was a time when I could see and
Mhm.
just the way that he just talks about what happened to him it's sad. It's, kind of makes light of it a little bit, but also he's angry about it
Yes.
as well.
Well, and Slade has interesting layers to him because he's a military man. He is a hard man, but he has fine appreciations for beautiful things in life. The whole entire title of the film is There's Nothing Like a Scent of a Woman.
Mhm.
And he has an appreciation. He's a romantic.
Mhm.
And that tango man,
Oh, that tango scene
that
is
tango,
so good.
so
So
good.
good.
The car scene is just exhilarating and full of life. And then if somebody says this is a Joker performance and not a real performance, look at that scene where he tries to kill himself.
Mhm.
And that scene that he has, which I I think the first time I watched this, I think I was being overly judgmental about Chris O'Donnell as an actor. Honestly, I think Chris O'Donnell gives a very empathetic and sincere performance here. Like, I'm not saying Chris O'Donnell is like a top tier actor.
Mhm.
He has found his place and niche at this point with God, how many seasons he's been on NCIS Los
I know,
Angeles
right?
since they launched that show. Like this is him being Robin in like Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. Like there's a genuine performance here. Like I think he's a fine boyish young hero in The Three Musketeers, the Disney one, where he's
Mhm.
D'Artagnan.
Right?
But like he is a charming and empathetic performer here. And that scene where he stops Slade from killing himself, there's so much emotion there. This is or did Al Pacino win this for a lifetime achievement? Probably. I
Still
think
didn't
this
change. Still didn't change the fact it's a great performance, right?
this wasn't even the only great performance he gave this year. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, he beat Clint Eastwood for Unforgiven. He also beat Denzel Washington for Malcolm
Malcolm
X,
X.
which
Oh,
that's
yikes!
that is
Yikes!
also like Denzel probably should have won. But,
Probably.
you know, that's the tricky thing about the Academy Awards. And yes, there will be the Art Carnies. Somehow Art Carney beat God, I'm pretty sure he beat Al Pacino, Gene Hackman, Robert, like he beat a murderer's row of
Hmm.
actors for Best Actor, or even when John Wayne beat Dustin Hoffman and John Voight for Midnight Cowboy for Best Actor. Like, there's these moments that are going to happen, but this is not undeserved.
Hmm.
John Wayne should not have won for True Grit. Sorry. Like if he was going to win for anything, it would have been The Searchers, which was a much more complex and interesting performance. Yes, is this on the same level as Michael Corleone? No.
No.
Serpico? No. Dog Day Afternoon? No. But it is still a really good performance.
Mhm.
And this is still one of the best performances he's going to give between now and the end of his career. And, he has Heat too and Irishman, which was really great to see him actually like getting a chance to do some real acting.
As opposed to just what has been
Jack and Jill.
happening in like the 2000s, where it's just he's become a shell of himself. He's become a bit of a joke, and it's sad because I look at movies like this where it's like, okay, we're at the tail end of like peak Al Pacino, right?
Yes.
Where he it's clear that he still gives a shit and he's still
Mhm.
got it. And there have been plenty of moments where it's that over like in the 2000s where it's like, okay, you've still got it. You just can't consistently do it because the script is not good enough, or but there's still something in there. And this I feel like this part was just like tailor-made for him.
Well, and luckily over the course of a couple years recently, we've got to see like I did not watch Paterno, that HBO film where he played Joe Paterno. I've heard really good things about that. I really liked him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was a much smaller role, but he's great in The Irishman. He is actually really good in House of Gucci, despite the fact that like that movie is a freaking hot mess.
Hmm.
Um, and I will one of the last really great performances he gave. I don't know if you've ever heard of Danny Collins.
Hmm.
He's really good in that.
Yeah.
And he didn't need to be. He's basically just playing an older Neil Diamond type
Hmm. Yeah.
because it's not Sweet Caroline, it's hey baby doll, what's going on? But like He's really good in that. Here, he's really good in this. This is a really good performance, and there's a great supporting cast here. James Rebhorn is a really
Oh,
underappreciated character actor, and him as Trask in this
such a
is
jerk.
excellent.
He's such a jerk. And oh, baby Philip Seymour Hoffman in
So
this.
good. Still
He's
great.
so good. And I don't like I hadn't seen this in a long time. And when that came up, I was like, oh,
Yeah, it
gone
makes you a little
gone
sad.
gone too soon. Way too soon.
And Richard Venture, who plays his brother, Bradley Whitford, who plays his nephew Randy. That whole Thanksgiving scene is so
Is I just
uncomfortable. Um, did you so I had never realized this up until this point watching it this time that June Squibb's in this.
no.
She is the woman who sees them
Oh
outside and she's the head of the disciplinary board. I'm like, June Squibb.
my God.
But like uh Gabrielle Anwar, who has wound up being in a whole bunch of other things, which is also really interesting that she was also in the Three Musketeers with Chris O'Donnell a year later.
Hmm.
But that her as Donna, that young woman that he tangos with, like that's a really great dynamic. This is a charming, heartwarming film that has a good message. It has interesting things to say. It's just a little over the top and melodramatic at times. And I don't know how you feel, Mike, about like everybody has their own taste for acting. I don't mind people acting to the ceiling.
Oh,
And this is top tier Pacino, Pacinoing out in a role.
mhm.
I'm somebody who loves Nick Cage. Nothing gives me more joy than watching Nick Cage be Nick Cage in a movie.
Right.
And here's the thing, to be frank, Daniel
Right.
Day-Lewis act like he is a method actor, but he chews scenery like it's nobody's business.
Yep.
And I love every second of it.
Hmm.
And I love every second that Al Pacino's on screen. Did he go a bridge too far when after he said hoo ha and says yabba yabba doo at the very end? I don't think he's still a little silly. But to be fair, he's also talking to a couple of kids. But
I still enjoyed the ride. That's, I guess, what matters at the end of the day, right? So,
I guess Mike, did you have anything else you wanted to add about Scent of a Woman?
wanted to give a shout out to the guy who played the limo driver, Manny. He's
Yeah.
just great side character. Just someone who's there for the ride. Um, just supporting him every step of the way. Like I do kind of tend to agree with you on Chris O'Donnell that you know, he's young, so like I'm assuming that going toe to toe with Al Pacino was probably not the easiest thing to do. So the fact that he, for the most part, held his own just fine. Um, Good for you, man. I'm sure that's going to be something that you look back on and be like, I was Robin, and I went and I did 20 seasons with LL Cool J of NCIS, and I got to be on screen with Al Pacino for a long time. Those have got to be
Yeah,
some of the highlights.
absolutely for sure. But Al Pacino did get nominated for another film this same year,
What an
and that
embarrassment
is
of riches, right? Like, how could.
Roma.
Hmm,
But this is Glengarry Glen Ross, which is actually on Broadway right now,
hmm,
starring Bob Odenkirk, Bill Burr, and um Kieran Culkin. So
Jesus.
yeah,
Like,
I really want to see it. This was directed by James Foley, written by David Mamet, who wrote the actual play Glengarry Glen Ross, which I read recently.
hmm,
This is starring Jack Lemmon, Al Pacino, Alec Baldwin, Alan Arkin, Ed Harris, Kevin Spacey, Jonathan Price. This movie is stacked. with talent. And this is an examination of the machinations between the behind the scenes at a real estate office. So I just want to say that I rewatched this recently because I showed this for business movie night
Mm,
for my event this semester, and I had 28 students show up,
nice.
watch this movie and discuss, and all those little Zoomers looked real uncomfortable sitting
Hmm.
through this movie because this is not an easy watch. But
No.
Mike, what were your general thoughts on Glengarry Glen Ross?
I've worked in sales for the better part of my, career.
Hmm.
And I've I've sold I've sold tech equipment, I've sold, you know, hope at the American Cancer Society. I I've sold ingredients and I now sell vanilla extract. A lot of these lessons are hard sales tactics that people get taught still to this day. Um, and it's kind of crazy because you don't realize how like iconic this movie is until like you sit down and watch it again like now and be like, oh, that's who this character in The Simpsons is based on. Oh, that's where Coffee for Closers is from. Oh, I get it now. That was my big takeaway from this is like, man, this movie gets spoofed or parodied
Yeah.
a lot. But the reason why is because everybody is on their A game in this movie. It's crazy. Like, it's funny because I know Jack Lemmon like exclusively almost for the grumpy old men
Yeah.
series. Um, but my God, this like Shelley is just like a different, like it's just different from what I've seen Jack
The
Lemmon in.
Machine Levine.
What a great nickname as well, but it just goes to show the dire straits that somebody gets pushed into when it comes to succeeding in business. And that's why that's why sales is not for everybody because you gotta push
Not for me.
and it is the loneliest individual sport when it comes to a job because it's just you out there and it's just you trying to figure out how to close opportunities. It's hard. It really is. It's definitely not for everybody. But for me, Glengarry Glen Ross will always be a movie that talks about the pressure of being in the corporate world and in
Mm.
sales and the lengths that someone will go in order to succeed. And ambition is just kind of a bitch, especially when you're feeling all of this pressure to do something for a Cadillac Eldorado, nonetheless. What a world we live
This
in.
this film was so rich for discussion with my students because first off, this film captures predatory and toxic management styles
Mhm.
that force unhealthy competition amongst its employees.
Yes.
So, right off the bat, did they bring in an inspirational speaker? No.
No, they
They
brought in
bring in
fucking
Blade.
Al Pacino.
So,
Or
you
not Al Pacino, Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin shows up for what, 5, 6 minutes of this film. He's like, you need brass balls to sell real estate.
Mm,
And the host like, put the coffee down. Coffee is for closers. And the whole like when Ed Harris is like, what's your name? I'm like, F you, that's my name.
hmm
And it's just like, my watch costs more than your car. Alec Baldwin eats this shit up. And he devours them.
It's like kind of similar to Al Pacino. It's like, oh, this is what it looked like when Alec Baldwin actually gave a crap about
Yeah.
what he was doing from an acting standpoint. Like Alec Baldwin, another one is like a shell of himself, kind of a joke. in terms of like
Well,
his biz.
especially after his last movie where he,
Mm,
accidentally killed somebody. So
yeah,
not great. This cast is a little toxic.
a
We
little,
get it
a
a
little.
little. Um, but Alec Baldwin's amazing in that role, but what he represents is this horrible disconnect between management and the employees. But when you put the employees in a situation where they fight for their jobs, their livelihood, you put them in a corner. What do desperate people do?
Mhm.
Unethical things. And that's what happens here. And this whole entire are they going to steal the leads? And what are you supposed to do? So you reward the people doing well with better leads, and you punish those not doing well with worse leads.
Yep.
You are so like that's literally the opposite of equity
Hmm. Yep.
because equality and equity are very distinct things. Equity is the idea that you give each person what they need
Mhm.
to be successful. Here, you are literally doing the opposite. You're only giving people that are already successful the tools to be successful. And it's messed up. And it pushes Ed Harris to Moss trying to get somebody specifically Aaron now, Alan Arkin, to, steal the leads. And the twist with who really stole the leads. That was excellent
Mhm.
how that's executed in this film because this is a sharply well structured written play and screenplay by David Mamet. Mamet is so interesting because he has gone so far to like MAGA territory at this point in his life, but you can tell this is a play written by a man for men. They talk like men. They all are toxic in that toxic masculinity kind of way. They're also not good people. Look, Ricky Roma, Al Pacino
Mhm.
might be the best salesman. He's dropping racial slurs
Oh yeah. Mm.
left and right about the Chinese restaurant. Then the amount of gay slurs that are dropped in this film, it's
Mhm.
uncomfortable. And the important thing to understand is none of them are good people. You're
No.
not supposed to root for them as good people getting behind them. I think by far the closest is George Aronow, Alan Arkin's character. Because at the end of the day, does he do anything bad?
No. But
No. And it's interesting, he's the last one selling at the end.
yeah.
It's the very last shot. And Roma is a piece of crap because he's a racist, and the horrible things that he does to Jonathan Price's character.
Oh, to get to close
Do
that.
you
Yeah.
think he commits suicide? Because I do.
I'm very dire straits when he gets to the office and be like, I need my money back
Yeah,
because my wife is saying stuff and
it's
I.
predatory.
Mhm.
And he wants to team up with Jelly when he thinks Jelly's a winner.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
And
you're.
it's very obvious. He starts buttering him up.
Mhm. Yeah. It's crazy to think also because Shelley, when you first meet him, it's like you're a smooth talker. That's it. But he kind of just represents this like older school method of selling when it's all about just like charm, buttering him up, and then Roma represents the pressure cooker that is high stakes, high value, high commission sales, where you will do literally anything to close a sale.
Where he will like talking about having sex with a woman.
Mm,
Like that was like, what the hell is this man talking about to this potential client?
yeah.
Um, and Shelley is so slimy. He Everything out of his mouth is a lie.
Hmm.
And the whole pretending to be on the call and like having this highfalutin kind of presence about himself to try to sell to others so they'll take him seriously and buy from him.
Yeah.
It's all part of the game. And then Don Williamson, their manager, Kevin Spacey, is a slimy piece of crap.
It's it's funny because I tried not to be like art imitating life, because this guy just lords over these people and withholds something that's going to like help them at the end of the day. Like, it's hilarious to me that like leads came on like index cards once upon a
Yes.
time, but at, and also they're right. Leads cost a ton of money. They do, because it gives people a strategic advantage. Um, because you see the moral bankruptcy that John has throughout the course of this movie, because he hears out Shelley with when he's like, "Hey, I got a proposition for you. Like, let's, you give me a lead, I'll throw you some money. I'll give you like 20% of my earnings." And then he's like, "Nope, I want that, and I want an upfront cost."
Yeah.
It's like, ah, you are straight up taking advantage of people. And Al Pacino said it the best at the end, is like, "Aren't you supposed to be helping us? Like,
Yeah.
what's up with this?"
The the fact that Kevin Spacey's character is the way that he is, where specifically like, you never open your mouth until you know what the shot is. Because Williamson doesn't know what they do. He has no idea what they do. And Roma calls him out on it. It's one of those things where, like, I'm just looking up some of these quotes and stuff like that. Because, like, God, the dialogue in this is incredible, despite the fact filled with a whole bunch of slurs and F words and stuff like that. But, like, it's so sharp.
Mhm.
And Mammoth's pacing and structure, because this is what, two acts, the night before
And the night
and then the morning after. And the morning after you don't expect to last as long as it does, but he, like, it smoothly keeps going and ratcheting up this tension. I don't know much about James Foley as a filmmaker. Oh my, it looks like James Foley directed some of the 50 Shades movies.
boy,
But
what
like,
what range?
what range? But like, he really makes a tight film, and the way that the camera moves in this film is really impressive. Juan Ruiz Anchia is the cinematographer, and just the way that the camera moves within the space that keeps the momentum going, because this is a play. And then you have composer James Newton Howard,
Mm,
amazing composer. That jazzy score just gives this personality. It's raining. You got that jazz playing, and it just has that feel to it. This is such a sleek, stylish film,
mhm.
and an incredible cast.
Yeah,
The whole ensemble is incredible. This, if you want to help people learn more about business and how not to manage people,
this is
this is an amazing example of how not to manage people,
mhm. Well,
because they put their employees in every situation to cause harm.
at the end as well, like, you're kind of left with a tough decision at this point. Do we empathize a little bit with Shelley, who is like, goes through like the stages of grief almost. He's like trying
Oh
to
my God,
bargain for all that, and then
the tears
he
was
throws,
incredible.
and then he like tries like, "But my daughter," like, because at the end of the day, that's, if you're doing like root cause analysis, that's it. But it doesn't change the fact that like he still did something really stupid in order to give himself like an undue advantage. And also his plan, kind of brilliant as well. Sell the leads to a competitor, but like that's a one-way ticket that you're never going to work in the industry ever again because you can't be trusted. And
Well, and it's
that's
so fascinating too because it wasn't Shelley's plan, and he gets the small peanuts
mhm.
because it was Moss that definitely makes more money out of it,
Well,
and he
I
didn't
mean,
have to do the dirty work.
it's all hearsay and speculation at that point. So
Hmm. But I guess, Mike, did you have anything else to add about Glengarry Glen Ross?
I mean, this is right up there in terms of business drama with Wolf of Wall Street, Boiler Room, you
Wall
know,
Street,
all of those movies. So um this one, it's a quick watch. It will
yep,
keep you on
hour
the edge.
40.
It'll keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time, and like all the performances are just incredible. So if anything, like it does kind of move and flow like a play, and yeah, this just a great one to watch. Something that just should be on everybody's radar.
Heard great things about the present stage performance on Broadway. Would recommend. If you want to read the play, would recommend. It was an interesting read. But this is this is indeed up there. I my senior thesis for college for my honors programs was a business education, how film has changed society's outlook on business.
Mm,
And I wrote about Glengarry Glen Ross. I wrote about Office Space, It's a Wonderful Life, Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street came out literally a couple weeks after I finished my first draft, and I'm like, this could have been a gold mine. Um, but to be fair, I didn't need any more negative representations of business in film. Needed some more positive ones. Oh,
right.
and I wrote about There Will Be Blood as well because
Oh, can't
that
can't forget
also
about that
is,
one.
yep, for sure. But that is a wrap here on another episode of the Wasteland Retrospective. Mike, thank you so much as always for coming on and talking movies with me.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Shane.
And next week, I'll be joined by our buddy Luke, and we'll be talking about a double dose of some early Guillermo del Toro films, The Devil's Backbone and Mimic. And next month, Mike and I are going to be talking about some dangerous reptiles with Anaconda on Lake Placid in honor of the new Anaconda movie.
Gosh.
But thank all of you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What is your favorite Al Pacino performance? What's the film that you think that he was most deserving of that Oscar? And what's your favorite Al Pacinoing out moment of Al Pacino? Is it she's got a great ass and you'll end so far up it from Heat? Or I'm a fan of man from The Devil's Advocate? A
Mm,
lot of great 90s ones to pick from
yep,
for sure.
for sure.
But also make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM Crew podcasting network is ever expanding. We have so many great shows, all different types of interest, plenty of movie ones for sure. I can attest. If you want to join the crew, either as a guest on one of these shows or starting your own podcast, make sure to reach out to us on our website. And if you like our logo, check out HiFlyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.